about things they otherwise don't talk about or get perspectives in other areas. You're like, oh, I haven't really thought about that. Something could happen there. And so those are very important. It's getting those interactions as well, I think, is very vital to
I had no idea that he did that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I highly recommend reading. It's in his book, Delivering Happiness. Path to, I forget the slogan.
It's by him.
Profits. Yeah. It's like it's his biography.
Very cool.
Or autobiography.
I just make sure that we cover.
Yeah, I think.
One thing that I wanted to mention is have you heard of the Mannahatta Project?
The Mannahatta? Not the Manhattan Project.
No, it's Mannahatta.
Mannahatta. No.
But it's weird to say at the beginning.
Yeah, right.
So the Mannahatta Project, Eric, he's I shouldn't even mention him because I don't know anything about him. So the Mannahatta Project looked at how Manhattan looked before human intervention. And they mapped it out. They listed all the organisms that live there, and they showed where the lakes are and the river streams and how it must have looked when the first colonizer came to that island. And an interesting story that was mentioned at Generous Cities Summit was that the Google headquarters building in Manhattan has actually a stream running through the building. And they saw it on the Mannahatta Project that there was a stream going. But when they went to the Google headquarters, nobody knew anything about. They were asking them, do you have any leaks or do you have any weird water activity or what's going on? And they're like, no, nothing. But then after walking through the building, they came across this door that was locked. And they were asking what's behind this door. And it's like, oh, we never opened that door. There's some wild stream and water just rushing through the building. And they opened it, and literally the whole stream was going through the building to the lake that was there hundreds or thousands of years ago in Manhattan. And they only found it because they were mapping the whole island and were able to figure out how the ecosystem looked before. And so doing that in not just Manhattan, but doing that in any place, that's why I was so excited about this project, because you don't have to do historical research. You know what's there already if humans have not interfered with it. If humans interfered with it, it would be great if any new city would look back in history and looked what was there before in order to optimize some of our plans, to say maybe this shouldn't be the kids' playground because it constantly floods. Maybe this needs to be like the Greenbelt in Scottsdale, where we have a golf course that could be used and have it naturally be watered, when it rains. So looking to what was there before and then overimposing it over a city that is there now is very interesting. So I recommend checking out the Mannahatta Project as well.
I'm definitely going to. And everyone else listening probably should as well. That's awesome. So now let's talk a little more about just what you're doing, and then it's kind of going to my last question. Just end with this, going to what you're doing first, but then talk about how people might be able to help you in whatever you're doing, and then how they can reach you.
Okay. Well, I'm a professor at ASU at the design school, and I got interested in biomimicry when I went to actually the Y conference in San Diego 10 years ago in 2008, where I heard the first time about biomimicry because I was already interested in sustainability. I grew up in Switzerland, where I was always outside. I was very connected to the nature. We had a farmhouse with animals and fruit trees, and my dad was a pilot, so we traveled all over the world. And I was exposed to all kinds of different biomes and tribes and cultures. But sustainability didn't get me to where I wanted to go. I mean, speccing the right paper and printing with water-based ink is one thing, but having the whole strategy look at how does nature communicate and how does nature provide value and services and create communities for visual communication is really what I'm looking at. And then to take it further, I really wished, like you said earlier, that we wouldn't even need terms like sustainability and biomimicry anymore, because it's just what we do. It's the normal thing to do. So we don't need a label anymore. We should have a label for the not normal stuff, which is building with too much concrete and cutting off, the life and the nature from our spaces. But having to label it for now, my wish is to bring the biomimicry thinking process into what designers do every day in a way that makes it really easy for them to go into that space and get inspired by it, and then to really understand the biology behind it without investing too much time. So providing tools for that, and then having solutions that actually are in tune with nature. So I call it the life-centered design thinking process rather than the human-centered design thinking process, which we have heard plenty of.
Yeah, I mean, that's in my thing, which maybe I should change it.
No, it's a process. If it fits, you can change it. If it doesn't, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with human-centered design.
Yeah.
Aside from maybe during that brainstorm phase, we could go into nature and ask, how do you do it? Rather than just draw from our own expectations and experiences.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's my research that I'm doing right now at ASU.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And how can people help you? What are some of the ways, if there's anything?
The best thing that I would appreciate for people to do is to just go outside. Okay. Connect with nature, find something new, be like a kid again, go out in nature and ask weird questions about why is this leaf this green? Why is it not this color? Why does this bee do this right here? Why? Just look to the details. In that minute where you walk from your office to your car, there's probably a little section with just dirt in a desert or, some green. Just look underneath there and see what's happening, because that is the single best way to get back in touch with nature, which will help all the biomimics to get you guys on board with, asking nature what to do and learning from nature. So I think that's the single best thing that people could do, and for themselves as well, to stay not stressed and mindful.
It's definitely healthy. I on my way, I walked to Lux, which is right down the street.
Yes, yeah.
I'm going to mention probably a million more times on this podcast. He's getting a lot of marketing.
That's perfect.
If this blows up. Anyhow, it's funny because I'll see, like, I specifically know there's this truck that never moves, and so there's a spider. They don't even open the door, apparently. There's a spider web that's there. And I'll go and just stare at it and look at, how the spider constructed the web and what kind of bugs are in there. And I'm just like examining, like, where's the spider? Did he leave? And then he wasn't there one day, and then the next day I'm like, ooh, that's a scary one. But it was like cool, like you see him just hanging there. And I think it's just a cool thing to do. But I also think about like how weird I look. People just like staring at this.
See, but that's the
this
thing.
window, but I don't care.
I think it's cool that you're doing it.
Right.
So I hope that people would get curious seeing you do that.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to lead. Yeah, exactly.
Take a look for a second.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah. And spiders have a really amazing strategy. They're not interested in building a web and then have a bird fly through it, right? That would destroy the web, but they can't eat during that time. They have to rebuild it. And so the UV thread that they sometimes infuse into the web signals to the birds. So for our city on the island, I really would like to propose that we spec the windows that are made by Arnold Glass in Germany, where they have the UV thread in the glass so that it prevents birds from colliding with the windows. So if there's one material that we should definitely use, I think it's that glass.
I love it. All right. I'm thinking I'm gonna create like a notes section to kind of extract some stuff and be like, this is some things that we should definitely remember to use.
Yeah.
Love it. And where can people reach you if they want to maybe talk more?
The best thing is the naturefactor.com website.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, there's a contact page. Just feel free to reach out to me anytime with any questions. I would love to hear feedback and thoughts from people to see what they're looking at and what they're interested in. That's wonderful.
Yeah. And I challenge all of you to go out in nature and send her some of your thoughts of what you noticed.
Yeah, and for all the designers out there, going out into nature is not part of your job description.
Right?
To get inspired, because there's a lot of lessons we can learn out there. And you'd be surprised how often when you actually find a quiet spot to sit, and like you with the spider, how those might jog different ideas when you're working on a problem, in space. So
absolutely.
It's a great source for me to find solutions that way.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. I've had so much fun.
Thank you so much
discussion.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
And I
love the project.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
I agree. We're going to.
Yeah,
All
perfect.
right.
Sounds great.
All right.
Thank you.